little bit of a different stream today. If you haven't noticed from the layout, I am working on getting a Xbox One prepared for my system setup. Once I have this going on, I'll be able to do the audio setup that I'm looking to do, and that's kind of what it is. If you had been following some of my gaming stuff, I have a PS4 set up so that it communicates back and forth with Discord, and that allows the PlayStation Party Chat guys that I game with to communicate directly through Party Chat to the folks on Discord, which are my PC gamers. Now, we want to kind of expand our gaming group a little bit, so since I was successful in getting the PS4 set up, what I wanted to do was get the Xbox Party Chat to do the same thing, so the physical setup should be just fine. I looked around town here and I wasn't able to find a Xbox One at my GameStop. They just didn't have any used ones. I wouldn't want to buy a new one at all. I just need something that can run the Xbox Party Chat in the background. So given that, I reached out to a couple of my friends, and one of the guys had upgraded their Xbox to the newest one that just came out, the latest gen. I think it's Xbox Series X maybe. And he had this one, he said, was sitting around for like a year, and he was willing to part with it for a really good price. So I went and drove with my wife over to get that yesterday, and now here I am. When I got it back, it had been sitting around for a year, which means it has collected a bunch of dust, and I do want to go ahead and get it cleaned up. So I thought, okay, well, I'll just tear it down and spray it out like any other PC. If you don't normally do that with a PC, and you haven't done that with your setups, I suggest you do. Computers have fans in them that suck in air to exhaust heat, and if you don't clean them out, they end up filling with dust, and dust will trap heat in there and actually make your computer perform worse. Yeah, so anyway, here we go. I found a couple videos on tearing down the Xbox One. PCs I'm super familiar with taking apart. I think the last time I took an Xbox apart was the original Xbox to do some modding on. I think that's like 3 generations ago or something like that, so I don't know where all the bits and bobs are for this. So I'm going to be listening to this video that you see playing over here, and using that as kind of a good reference guide. I've already watched the opening part a couple of the times, and I have prepared everything that I need. They said, one of the videos I watched talked about the actual Torx set. Now, the Torx security screws are kind of like these things are so hard to get out of this particular thing, but these cool hex guys here. Let's see if we can see this on the camera here. And if you see, it has the hole in the middle, so that's like the security Torx. And this particular one that I have, I've had this for a long time. It's usually in my computer backpack I take with me, because you just kind of never know. But it has multiple sizes. It tells you on the side here, if you can see that. Let me get the lighting just right. The T numbers, so Torx 6, 7, 8, 9, all the way through 30 on this one. This one's Titan. Like I said, I got this years ago. I'll try to find a link and chuck it in if I save this to YouTube so that people can take a look. But I think we're going to use an 8 and a 10 from one of the videos that I saw. So 6, 8 would be the third one. Should be this middle one right here. When I get that one out, will be the 8 and then the 10. So got that ready to go. Aside from that, I also have some butter knives. Hey Dadness, I see you in chat. I am taking apart that Xbox that I got so that I can clean it out. It's got a bunch of dust in it, and I just want to get it cleaned up to get it prepped up for the audio install that I'm going to be doing. The other videos mentioned having a butter knife or some type of like plastic pry bar thing. I grabbed a couple. I wasn't sure how stiff the butter knife needed to be. This is one of my camping ones that's usually in the RV. I grabbed that, but then this is one of my normal ones, and this thing, that's pretty legit heavy. All right, so I'm gonna just start by listening to the very beginning of this YouTube video and seeing where he goes. I already know that we're gonna be taking off this side plate here from some of the references that I did. So I will watch that, and you guys can listen in.
The optical disk drive.
Feel free to like ask questions or whatever you want as I go through this. This is very much just a straight up chatting stream at the moment.
Sized screwdriver.
Yeah, so he mentions T8 1010.
Just a regular Torx will do.
Oh, he's saying it doesn't need to be a security bit, but we'll see what happens when we get there. I'm not taking apart the optical drive, so I don't need a screwdriver, supposedly. Really, all I'm working on doing is getting, yeah, use a hammer. I'm just getting this case here off. I already have my air compressor out back ready to go to spray the case out once I get it there. So we'll see. All right.
So the first step,
I did notice that he's not using a, he's not too worried about the surface that it's on because he's using a pretty standard desk mat. I do have static mats for when I used to work on computer mod stuff, but that's not going to be necessary here. All right, so first thing he's doing is he's just taking off this panel by putting the old screwdriver in here and lifting up. Now it looks like it's coming out pretty easy. You see that? Cool. Yeah, so you can already see like the dust buildup that I'm talking about that I want to get taken care of here. It causes heat traps and can, I guess, lead to your stuff crashing if it overheats and whatnot. So that's kind of a big deal. All right, so that is the first step, was getting off this side panel. I've set it aside over here. I will blow that out when I blow the rest of it out. And now we'll go on to the next part, which will end up being this piece here. And it shouldn't be too much. I believe it just slides right over. You
should be fine.
Yeah, water and soap. Don't use water and or soap on your electronic bits. All right, so he's just doing a Torx in that bottom hole there. So I'm just going to do that. Put that in there. All right, so that is slid out.
At this point,
done.
We're ready to start separating the top part of the case
cool.
from the bottom part. So to do that, we want to push down the top and pull up on the bottom.
Yeah, I saw someone talking about using a nice, let's see if you can see this here, but kind of like doing this bit here. He's pulling apart. Let me see. Someone was like, no, well, that didn't work. Hang on, let me pause it. Uh-oh.
Taking the system apart to
let me just go back a tiny bit. See how this guy did it. He pressed up.
That. Now at this point, we're ready to
I've seen him do it two different ways now.
Part of the case, or the bottom part.
This guy just manhandles it apart, I think.
Top and pull up on the bottom, and then pull them apart.
So he's just working on pulling it apart right there. The other video I saw did this really neat thing, and I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but they just kind of like held it. Oh no, that's what it was. Now I vaguely remember. This guy didn't do this, but the other video had a much easier way. I went and picked up the Xbox Dadness from a friend of mine in Smithville yesterday afternoon. That's why I didn't get on until like 6 to play Call of Duty. All right, let's see if we can see this here. If I'm holding it here, what he did was, this angle is kind of weird. It's kind of almost flipped. So if you press, yeah, okay, so I can hear it. If you press in on this part right here, then you can kind of separate it then with, oh yeah, you can see the difference in what he had to do there. All right, so this gets the separation. That does void your warranty, but this is a used thing. So that is separated now. But there are clips in here that we're going to get into next that we'll end up having to separate with the butter knife.
Pushing until it snaps like that.
Yeah, see, if he'd have put his thumb in there, that would have been a little bit easier. Okay, so he's holding it apart like I am right here.
I'm actually taking the system apart to repair the optical disk drive. That's why the sticker is here. And the system has been apart before. As you can see, it's lacking a warranty sticker. You'll want to either remove this sticker or separate it so that this piece separates.
Yeah, nobody cares about the warranty stickers.
Next, we're going to put
Suck it, warranty.
butter knife. So we can
Okay,
separate the
so he's got
clips here
butter knife here-ish, he says.
and here.
Oh, I felt it.
Place that
I'm still pushing apart with my thumb over here. I'm just kind of like getting this in there and
pry.
turning.
So
Ugh, my finger over here, you can see that is kind of like
up there.
getting
From my angle, you
pressed.
can just barely make it out.
I'm gonna turn it. You probably won't see it here for a second, but I'm gonna try to get this top bit.
Off, like back it off. Like
And
clip comes out like that.
all right, yeah.
And look for our last clip here.
Where's the last clip at?
Again,
Way over here.
in place and then push
Okay.
up.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there it goes.
Push up while pulling up.
Okay. All right. I don't want to get it all the way apart because there might
Anyways,
be something
once we've
going on
got
the
all
front
three of those
here.
clips released, we can now put our system down. Back here to our original position.
Original position.
And
Yeah,
what we
kind of
do
like
is
that.
pull straight up, like that, and there's some clips here on the side. They can lift straight
Oop.
up.
Don't get stuck again.
That.
Clips on the side. He said original position.
Clips there on the side. And you don't do anything special with those, just go straight up.
Nah, I gotta watch
Again,
that.
if
I
you
gotta see
haven't
what he
taken the
did
system
there.
apart before,
I didn't lift straight up,
straight
so
that.
he was working some clips on this side here.
Clips there on the side.
Oh, okay. There it went. It did the thing.
Three.
All right, I gotta be careful. There is a ribbon right
Don't do
here
anything
that's
special with those,
connecting
just lift
this.
straight up. Again, if you haven't taken the system apart before, those clips might take a little more effort to separate.
Okay.
Now at this
I'm
point,
gonna pause that for him.
case up, and you want to be really careful. You won't be able to see it because it's hard to lift the system up here and show you how I'm taking this out, but I'll show you what I did to separate this in just a second. So what you want to do is
Okay,
pull
so he's disconnecting the ribbon that connects that.
clip to this.
Valorant is a 5 versus 5
Oh, look, an
shooter
ad.
where you'll attack
Cool.
or defend strategic points on the map. Valorant.
Skip that. All right.
Makes no sense.
So it looks like he's actually taking the ribbon off, and I feel like I'm definitely gonna have to take off more portions of this because the exhaust fan right here, if you can see it, it looks like you kind of can. There's a good amount of dust gonna be in there, so I'm gonna end up having to take these this whole top part of the chassis off and do that. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the ribbon. Now this is like one of those standard ribbon things. I'm just gonna use the butter knife to separate. You're supposed to just kind of pull out there and then the ribbon should pop out on the side. Maybe, we'll see. This ribbon is what operates like the front lights to your Xbox. I know you're not gonna get a good angle, but I'm gonna try and get in here. Oh, there it came out. So you can kind of see here this ribbon. Let's see if you can see it. Yeah, so this ribbon just kind of slides in there. It's kind of cool because a lot of them don't have this neat little bit on the backside. That's going to make it easier to install again because once you get the ribbon lined up, you can just pull on that, which will guide it in, and then you just press down on the clip part. Again, this is the first time I've ever taken apart an Xbox One, following some directions from the YouTube video you see on the screen. So the ribbon was connected right here, and this thing just this little bar slides up, and then once it's in, it just goes down and you push it in. But this one just right now it kind of comes out. But yeah, so here's the dust I'm talking about. You can kind of see in there. We're just wanting to blow all that out. Let's see how much further he actually goes in. He's taking out the optical drive, which is right here, which I don't see any screws. I don't see any screws on the front part here. So I assume that it's not just going to straight pull up and hot swap out. Yeah, so we'll probably end up having to take off several other pieces. Let's see what the video says.
Since we can't see it, but once that's disconnected, what we're going to want to do is separate the front of the case from the top of the case. It makes it easier to put back together later. What you want to do is pull up on these clips here. I'm start.
Oh, he wants to separate that part? I might do that
Left,
later, but
front, side,
I see the
right.
clips. There's a good number of them.
Careful not to snap any of them. And then to pop off. Now with this
It's
piece
like, don't
off, I
snap
can
'em.
better show you what I did here on the front.
Alright, I see where that's going, but we can do that later.
One of those clips you need to be careful with. The way this works, so let me just reattach this. Just
Okay, he's actually showing this. I don't really care about this part. I already kind of talked about it. Skip ahead a little bit.
So at this point, we want to unplug our speaker connection here.
Okay, so the speaker connection he's got right here, no big deal. That just lifts right out.
Straight up. And then we want to take our antenna cable off here as well.
The antenna cable should just come
Grab
straight off the
back
side.
end.
Oh, this one lifts up. Okay.
We want to pull
Yeah,
straight
you just pull straight back. Alright,
up.
those two are done.
Okay. Don't push side to side, just lift straight up.
Antenna, I guess, is for the wireless or something.
Okay, with those two cables out, you'll be able
Or
to
maybe
get
even the
this top
Bluetooth, actually.
shell piece off. Okay, first we're going to want to take off our Wi-Fi / Bluetooth
Okay,
port,
so it's
and we're
Wi-Fi,
gonna be using
Bluetooth.
a T8 bit for this.
T8, that's the one I have
Screws that we need to
selected.
remove for this. You'll see there are
So
3
I'm
other
just gonna-
smaller screws surrounding the Wi-Fi board / Bluetooth board, but we don't need to remove those. We
Here's the
just need to remove
T8,
these two
pulling
here.
off this part.
And so once we get those
Get
off,
this
we
next
lift
one.
the board straight up again. Don't push it or pull it sideways, just lift straight up. And once you do that, you'll see this is the connector you're trying to move. Where it's connected is just by lifting it straight off.
Oh yeah,
The
that's
reason
one
you
of
have to
those
take the board off is you need
seated
to get
connectors. Alright,
access to
you get that there.
this case screw
Straight
here.
up on
In total,
this
there are
guy.
8 T10.
Yeah, it's got a
screws.
multi-pin thing there.
1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Alright, so now we're
They're
switching to the
actually all
T10
labeled
screws.
C1
If this was the
through C8.
T8, two
So we're gonna
more
switch
over is
over
going to be
to our
T10, a little
T10
larger. That's going to be this largest one
Go ahead
here.
and grab all the screws.
Oh, sorry for the noise. Alright, so then real quick, we're just going to do all 10, he said. No, how many he said? Oh, he's going super fast. Holy crap, wish I could remove it that fast.
Okay, with all those screws off, we're gonna.
Alright. Let's get those off here. They are marked C6, 7, 8. So it's a total of 8, it looks like. We don't have to do them in any particular order, so I'm just going to do that. Oh, that said T10, but that T10 is not fitting. What's going on? That is T10, right? 8. No, oh, no. That's T11. Whoopsie. I went over to the third one. I needed to go over to this one. T11 ain't gonna fit. Well, that's good that you'll be on tonight. I'll probably be on tonight at some point. But I'm mostly trying to work on audio today. When I can get the Xbox set up for the Xbox party chat so that our nephews can join us on Discord, that will be awesome. Holy crap, that was really long. I was not expecting that. You see that? How long that is? Alright, that was the C8. So we got C3 here. I wonder if they're all going to be that long. I really hope I don't have to remember how many, how big each of these are. Nah, they look like they're the same size. Total of 8, he said. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then the 7, 8. Yeah. Get this part. Hopefully once we just get this top off, then I can go take it and spray it out and be done and just put this back together. It's is what it is, right? Alright. This one here. I should probably try and slide this a little bit closer to the camera. Oh, whoop, not the whole table. Just, it's got those feet on the bottom that keep it from sliding. That's handy. Get it just a little closer here, I suppose. there's no reason not to. Hopefully I'm still somewhat on camera as I'm working this. You'll have to let me know in chat if you're having any problems with the audio or the video. This was a pretty quick setup today. Ended up just getting... actually installed Epoch camera on my iPhone to get this secondary shot. I've been kind of looking at different cameras to potentially get for a secondary camera, but I haven't really found one that I want to spend the money on just yet. I've been playing with a couple things. One of them was I have a GoPro, a Hero Session 5, and I thought that I was going to be able to use that as a secondary camera, but as it turns out, it's a real pain. Like, you have to buy a bunch of extra software to even do it. Not a bunch of software, but there's a couple softwares out there that I guess originally started out free, but now they're like $90, and I'm like, I don't want to spend that much money on software. So I gave up on the GoPro. Then I was looking at the PS4 camera that I have. I was thinking, okay, well, maybe I'll be able to use that. But that has a different proprietary connection, even though it's really just USB 3. But PlayStation and, you know, proprietary connections, kind of a pain in the butt. Let's see. All right, so that should be all of the screws that he wanted taken out. We can get to this next part. I think he just ends up lifting up on it.
Gonna lift up our panel here. Now, the one thing to be careful of.
Oh, gotta be careful.
Is on our left-hand side. You'll be able to see this.
Okay, so there's
Here
a connection
is our
for
our Wi-Fi/Bluetooth port, and we're gonna want to pull this.
You're probably wondering, like, why? Well, you might not be wondering, but why is there a connection thing there? Well, there has to be a bridge. So you can see that this is a metal case, and Wi-Fi doesn't go through metal. So they had to put the controller for the Wi-Fi on the outside. That's just how radio waves work, folks. All right, so I'm gonna lift straight up, get this lifted, and then I'm going to take a look for that cable. Yep, sure enough, there it is, like you said. This just another multi-pin cable here that I can pull straight up on. Perfect. And this is actually like the extent of how far I'm gonna have to take this apart. There's a little bit of dust on the board, not a ton. There's the dust around the outside where it pulls in the air, and there's some over here. But that's going to be a pretty easy blowout. I will be right back. I'm going to come back and forth. The air compressor's on the outside. You don't want to be blowing this stuff out on the inside of your house because obviously the dust will end up inside your house. So I take it outside. I use an air compressor. It's faster. I've been doing it for years on different computers and stuff. So I will be right back. Let me do a I'm gonna do here. Well, there is music in the background. This shouldn't take long. I'll be back in just a minute. Let me get this set up here. Try not to punch any buttons and mess anything up. I'm gonna take this piece here and just put it inside the other while being careful about the hanging bits. And then I'm gonna take this guy here and I'll be back. Give me like 2 minutes maybe tops, we'll see. Enjoy some string beats while I blow this out. Okay, here I am back with the parts. I think I still need to take that very first piece we took off and blow that out real quick while I have everything hooked up back there. Let me get this over here, get this separated. Yeah, let me check that real quick. Hard to see, it's a little darkish over here. No, it looks good. I think I vacuumed it a little bit with a bristle brush yesterday. Okay. Back to putting this thing back together now. We'll see if he has any any useful information about getting it back together. I'm pretty sure top's gonna be easy enough. Actually, I might just skip listening to him and go for it. Kind of makes me wonder why he had me take this off. Like, you don't really need to take this guy off, right? There's no... Oh, I see why. So the reason why I had to take the Wi-Fi bit off is because underneath here there is one of the original screws that we had to get. Okay, well that makes sense then. Okay. So this thing is way cleaner now. Just a reminder that electronics and dust don't go together, but they will always be together. First thing I'm doing is just plugging this Wi-Fi module back in. I'm not going to use the Wi-Fi for my audio setup, primarily because we have a microwave that's been interfering with our Wi-Fi stuff, and I don't want the audio to be adversely affected by, you know, when my wife's making tea or something like that, which happens a lot. She likes that tea. All right, as you can see, the top of this is way cleaner now. You could see the dust in it before. Like I pointed out earlier, the board wasn't too bad, but there was a lot of dust built up on the sides. I was actually surprised that there wasn't a lot of dog hair. I'm pretty sure my friend owns a dog, and dog hair is like one of the biggest culprits for getting inside your computer cases and causing issues with your fans and stuff. So that was kind of surprising. So, but you should certainly, I mean, I guess you could take your computer to, or you could take your Xbox somewhere and have it cleaned professionally if that's going to keep your warranty in place. I'm not sure that that's actually what happens. But you don't want to avoid your warranty on any of your electronic devices if you can help it, because it's really handy to have those warranties for when they do break for real for some dumb reason. So right now I'm just getting the screws back in, the C10. Excuse me, not C10, the T10 screws, Torx 10. He was right, they're not security ones, so they don't have the crazy hole in the middle, because security ones have the hole in the middle. And I know that a lot of Apple products use the security ones, because you have to buy a more special. Torx tools, oops, that's not the hole for that. Torx tools are fairly common to use in a lot of different things, but some like electronics folks will use security ones to try to keep people from like home fixing their own things, like that's going to keep people from really doing anything. That doesn't make too much sense, just because the what do you call it, the availability of tools is, I mean, I probably primed this back when I needed it. I think I was taking back my old Mac Mini or something like that to clean it out. Let's not get these overlapped. Caught up in this screw here. Going down. So today I'm going to be working on this Xbox audio. I need to get this plugged in, get it set up, and take some audio cables and get those set up in the mixer and maybe make some changes. It's going to be easy enough to do the actual like cable connections and stuff like that. But the testing is probably the harder part because I don't really have any Xbox friends. I haven't owned an Xbox since the 360. When the 360 first came out, I owned a LAN store in Minnesota. And we had a couple Xbox 360s and a Wii set up that people would come and play games. It was a lot of fun. That was toward the end of college. Some buddies of mine, we all went in and put together this this thing. All right, I'm gonna slide this straight back down into the pin connectors there, which will line up these holes. I'm gonna switch over to the T8 Torx, like he said. So that's a T10. Gonna go down 2, so skip 1. There we go. And I forgot to mention that I guess yesterday while I was offline, got a new follower. Thanks for Celt of Hibernia 81 is the name. Appreciate that follow. If you're watching and you haven't followed, feel free to give a follow. It's always helpful. If you're just kind of lurking, that's cool. But if you want to chat or ask about something, I do have a lot of hobbies. Electronics is one. I do some light beekeeping. Kind of a lazy beekeeper, but bees like it that way. I do ham radio. I will whatever electronics, PC builds, leatherworking, chainmail working, all the crazy nerd stuff. All right, so the Wi-Fi adapter's back on. Let's get this speaker plugged in here. This Wi-Fi bit here just pops. This is the antenna, actually. Just pops straight down onto that and clips in. Once it lines up. Come on now. Get in there. There it is. Perfect. Perfect. All right, now he was talking about taking these clips off to get the top on easier earlier. Might want to watch what he had going on for that. Let me see. Because he was like, I'm taking off these top clips to do a thing. That was right here-ish, right?
Later, what I want to do is pull up on these clips here. I'll start from the left front side to the right. Be careful not to snap any of them, and they should pop off. Now with this piece off.
Okay, that makes sense. So I think what's going to happen then is since these will slide in, once we put the top on, we will take this faceplate here and just push it on. Maybe. How does it get the ribbon back on then? We'll see. We'll follow that route. Get this separated. It's easy enough to just push out on that while lifting up on these clips, and that's separated out just fine. No biggie. So now I can skip to the end where he's reassembling this thing, right? I haven't even been to the end. Let's go back to the future. All right, let's see. Here's his assembly part.
8-bit. And put in.
Oh no, an ad. Holy crap, that ad is loud. Why do they do it so loud? Skip. So he's assembled that. I think he's already put on.
Perfect. So at this point, we can move some of our wires out of the way here. I usually put these wires underneath these tabs.
Okay, yeah, so hang on.
But
He
we
put that
have
on
3 pieces left to
first.
put on. We want to insert.
Get rid of the ad.
And then same with our speaker connector here.
Alright, so we just did that.
Okay. Next we'll put on our front piece here, and then we'll start putting our screws back in. opposite of what we did before.
Okay,
Should be able to
so
show you guys here. Camera.
so he's just getting that hooked up, and then he's gonna push it into the bottom, I guess, or
Insert.
flip it in.
Center tab first.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Top and bottom. So it's open. This is gonna be easier for me to do from this. Maybe I can get this side angle so you guys can kind of see it. But this looks like it just lines up with these holes here. Yeah, like this. And all I need to do is kind of like pinch this back, this ribbon, hold it at that angle so that it'll slide underneath like that. Oh, it fell out. That's fairly common. This is kind of annoying. You have to kind of, I'm working around the microphone. I'm trying not to bump that. It just did. Hopefully it didn't get too noisy there. So I'm just kind of holding it like this. I'm going to slide it under. I'm not even going to, I don't think I'm going to worry about getting the clips in until I got this ribbon done here. Cool. I got the ribbon kind of in. It's a little bit of an angle. I got to like straighten that out. There, yeah, now it's in, and then just pushing it, and then it just kind of fell into place there. Perfect. Like the pros. Alright, so he's probably going to have me just flip this up and set that there. It seemed like when we go add the other piece, we're just going to slide it in over that. We'll watch that part to be sure, but that's like not connected to anything. That just kind of sits on top of there. He was talking about, oh, I'm going to slide these things. I really don't care about the wires. Let's do it. Let's go to the next bit. Oh, I don't want to watch him do the same thing. Good job, pal. Alright.
Okay, so now something you missed when I first took it apart on these original systems, there's this little piece that sticks, I think it goes in like right here. It's between the upper casing and the front of the board.
Oh, that didn't fall out for me. It's sitting right there.
Like this system that have already been opened have a tendency to either be missing these pieces.
I can tell them what it is. It's a, because you're supposed to use it to press down on that antenna to connect it. It's supposed to keep the board from bending and breaking when you put that pressure on there. It'll also stop vibration too that would potentially pop off that that connector. Not that that connector is actually going to pop off. He's just taping it back into place. Let's get to the part where we actually put the lid back on, bro. He's been like 3 minutes.
Here that we're going to want to.
All right, here we go. Here we go. Looks like he's doing a little test bit. I'm trusting it. I'm trusting this thing is great because we didn't get into the actual electrical components. We just blew off the dust.
Just feel out a bit here as we're putting the case back together. So on this side, the smaller piece goes into this tab here. So we're going to do.
All right, on the fan bit, he's got it facing him, I think. Yeah.
And you can even lean this part
Facing him more this way.
Everything.
Fan part's gonna go on the front.
Back if everything's lined
How
up
did
okay,
he do it?
shouldn't take any effort at all just to push everything back together.
Yeah, okay, I see.
That's it. That's about as easy as it gets. And
Some holes.
everything's lined up here.
See that? Oh, okay. Yeah,
At this
yeah.
point, put our panels back on our left-hand side. So it's important
I
to put
see.
this piece back in. This rests behind.
Maybe.
Sink
Maybe I see. How did he do that? Oh, it does just do that. Okay.
Without this piece in, you'll know this piece isn't in.
That's in. That just popped together. Nice.
Because if it's not in,
Put some pressure. It's going on. Sweet.
If you are missing
All
this
right.
piece for some reason, if you got a system that was used,
So then he says,
it was a parted system, you can get these for
just
about $10
slide this
a month.
guy back in here.
Yeah, same as this guy.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
We just rest this on top and then push down.
How did it go in there? It was like
That's
this.
it.
That's how I remember taking it
Your
out.
system all back together again.
He said
Now
press it
remains to
down?
be- Now
No?
what remains to be done is to
There it
plug your
goes.
system back in and try it out. Make sure your buttons are all working, and if they aren't, then that cable on the front end,
I
you
don't
can
think
seat it
that's
correctly.
lined up. Let me just double check here.
Sometimes it starts going off randomly. It's not seated, or they don't work
I
at
think
all.
it should.
Also means it's not seated.
There it goes. Just
Don't
kind of.
report, whatever. Yep, and then you want to
There it goes. Cool. I don't care about ejecting,
also
bro.
throw a disc in to the drive. Make sure the drive is working after you get it together.
He did a drive replacement. I'm just cleaning. I'm not worrying about
Okay,
that.
you know your hard drive is okay.
Cool.
Other problems you could see is you
Alright.
can't get the controller to connect. It could be your
It's back together.
cable.
It
that
looks
goes from the
solid.
Wi-Fi / Bluetooth board.
Everything
to the
looks
motherboard.
lined up. The
That's not
warranty is
connected.
definitely
You'd also notice
voided,
that the wireless isn't working
but
if
it
you
didn't have
use the
warranty
wireless.
for me anyway, as it was bought used. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Put that back.
Well, thanks for
Alright.
watching this teardown video. I hope it helps you
There
out.
it goes. Cool, guys. That
And
was super
I'll see you
fast.
guys later.
I don't think I'm logged in over there, so I'll have to log in later and subscribe. Not subscribe, but at least give them a like, because that was a pretty decent video. Alright, guys. I'm going to go get some lunch and start putting my setup back together for streaming this evening, and then see about also get the audio stuff working. I've got to set up a live account. Maybe I can recover my super old one. I don't know. Once I get that set up, then I should be able to start testing out the party chat stuff. Next week, I think my nephews are going to join us for some Call of Duty Cold War, and this whole setup will be good. I'll probably be putting up a YouTube video at some point. Not for this. There's plenty of teardown Xboxes one. But something unique that I have going on is the Discord cross-party chat between the PlayStation party and Discord, being able to chat together at the same time. And I'm planning on getting the Xbox put into that as well. So let me know if you have any questions about this build. And if you're interested in that YouTube bit, look for Wazamouse on YouTube. And I will certainly have a link posted at some point about the sound setup I have going on. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Have a great day.